First of all, congratulations to Devdutt Padikkal for that brilliant century, his first of many to come. I mean, that was the conversation yesterday, even between Virat Kohli and Devdutt Padikkal when they were actually in the crease. But it was such a pleasure to watch that innings. He was flawless, and that's the way it has to be. Good shots, and the reach is nice. He has talent, and in like 2 to 3 years time he will be an absolute masterclass in batting if he can keep the intensity up, and I think he will. But a moment of silence to all those players who were playing fantasy leagues and they had AB de Villiers and Glenn Maxwell as their captain and vice captain, or both, because they thought they're gonna carry like bucketfuls of runs in 4 or 6s and they're gonna score big. And a chance they didn't even get to actually play a single ball. I mean, Virat Kohli and Devdutt Padikkal just made sure that they're just gonna finish the job, and it was not such a huge difficult ask that they had to do. The pitch in Wongday yesterday was proper, the real Wongday pitch shot up. 2, the quality of the opposition bowling it's safe to say it's the weakest bowling team in this year's IPL. Without Jofra Archer, I mean, Chris Morris would have been a perfect second fiddle to the fire that is Jofra Archer. But without Archer, I mean, the bowling department, they are struggling, because there was a time when a friend of mine who is supporting Rajasthan Royals from the heart because of the Sanju Samson factor called me, and he was almost in tears because his friends are trolling him, they're making fun of him, and all those things. But the thing is, then I asked him, so what are the changes that you will do? There are no changes. There is nothing that he can do. I mean, he can only operate with the quality of players that they have. See, the thing is, Shreyas Gopal is a good bowler. Chetan Sakariya is a very good prospect, and there are other bowlers in their ranks, but they're not outright match winners who can do that, deliver that game after game. See, if Jasprit Bumrah is having a bad day, you will say that's a bad day, because every other day you expect him to actually be at that level. But the thing is, these guys, when the conditions favor him, the quality of the bowling, they can only reach that scenario maybe like once in 10 days or twice in 14 days, that kind of a scenario. But they'll need someone like a Jofra Archer to have that consistent bowling quality. And if Morris could play fiddle to Archer, but I don't think Archer is coming. There is no news about him coming back. So yeah, I mean, Rajasthan will have to do with what they have. But what they have is 2 quality top order batsmen who for some reason are not looking at the top of their game. Is Josh Butler. Josh Butler is key. Josh Butler or Sanju Samson, they will have to play those big, long innings. They have at least one of them. Every match they had to play the 70, 80 kind of innings, so that, the Tavatias and Chris Morris and Shivam Dube, Ryan Parag, they're all players, good players, quality players with a lot of talent, but they haven't done this before, take a match on its head single-handedly. Tewatia has done what he did against Punjab last season, but the basement was set. I mean, they need somebody like the Sanju Samson or Josh Butler. And Sanju's consistency is something we have been talking for a long time. But yesterday, make no mistake, I liked the approach. He was actually middling the ball. He was defending the ball. He was not playing silly shots. But once he gets going and he gets to the safe zone kind of 25, 30-ish runs, then he can take off and he will explode. We all know that he has the capacity, but he has to make sure that he's just following what he did yesterday. Yesterday was a very good ball. It actually had that extra bounce from Washington Sundar, and he was in 2 minds whether to go for it or take a single. I mean, Sanju Samson should actually stick to this pattern of taking it slow, taking it to 20, 30 balls and then explode, because he is batting at number 3. He will get that chance, and he will definitely, once he gets going, will take his strike rate from about 100s to about 150 in no time at all, and he's capable of doing that. So let's just make sure that he's not throwing away his wickets in the first 10 to 15 balls. And if he can do that, yesterday was one day, but I think if he keeps that attitude when he's out there to bat, we can see a more consistent Sanju in this tournament itself, and that will be good news for not only for Rajasthan but also for Team India and his chances to make it to the World Cup team. He has to be consistent, he has to take the responsibility and make sure he plays and finishes off matches. Yesterday, I liked the attitude that he brought to the batting crease, but yesterday didn't work out. But the attitude, I think, was right, and let's keep doing that. And I think 3 out of 5 times that will work. Yesterday was 1 out of those 5 times where it didn't work. No problem, but he will get there. And talking about captaincy, we saw in that Punjab match where Rahul, the captain, was actually handing the ball over to Akshadeep, and Kumble called up Deepak Hooda and said. And what we saw next was Deepak Hooda running from the boundary and said, coach ne bola, mujhe bowling dene ko. That's what happened. So there were questions asked, who is the captain? I mean, is the coach calling the shots? But in the field, it has to be the captain. Then if it's just a puppet, then you really don't need something like a captain. I mean, coach can come for the toss and coach can decide, we'll bat first or we'll bowl first. I mean, make decisions, make plans, but let the captain be a captain, because the analyst and all those numbers are making me crazy. Just imagine the plight of the cricketers. They have to go through all these numbers, and if they were that good with the numbers, maybe they would have been scientists and not players. But there are some players who think like scientists and very smart mathematicians. Yeah, let's see. It's Mumbai versus Punjab tonight at 7:30. May the best team win.